Market update on the 29th. So this is a pretty important video overall because we are at a point in the market where there's a few different possibilities. Are we going to go to new lows to 340, or are we going to new all-time highs or new highs? I think the all-time high is what? All-time high is 404. Yeah, so we'd probably come close to all-time highs if this ends up being a 5-wave move. And it kind of remains to be seen. Overall, I'll say that I think that this is most likely ABC. But from here, there's a few different possibilities. I'll outline those first. First possibility is if it's ABC, we get this move right here, maybe like 376, and then we pull back, and then we go higher like this, and fill this gap here at 380, and then that just makes that the overall B wave. So then we'd be looking at something like this. Maybe come a little bit lower, maybe 350. That's a first possibility. I don't think I like that one as much. I think that this has got to be close to finishing. And so the second possibility is we finish at 376, and then we go lower. And that would actually be WXY. So that would be something like this. And I'd be looking for about 343 into October. That is probably my favorite one, the one that I think is most likely. So those are the first two possibilities, and then the bullish possibility is be something like this. That's the bullish possibility. They're all possible, but let's zoom in here on the smaller time frames and just look at this wave right here. This looks highly corrective to me. Let's just see. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I guess it's possible that this has got to be, just looking at it right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It's kind of up in the air, really. Again, because if you want to label this, you could label this right here. You could do 1, 2. We're on the 15 right now, but this could end up being pretty crazy. This might be kind of a long video, by the way. I'll probably do timestamps. I'm just going to see if this is possibly a 5-wave move. Then this would have to be in itself. Because you can see this is a third wave right here. And this would be, you can probably skip ahead if you don't want to watch this, but I want to verify what is going on. So this would end up being a third wave. This would be a fourth wave. And then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would only be the overall third wave. So this is actually possibly a 5-wave move. You can see it's pretty clear. So we have 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, pull back 4, 5th wave higher. So again, this is labeled 1 or A. And then we get this pullback, and it pulls back to the 0.78 fib. That's either 2 or B. And then this move right here, that has not passed the parallel line yet on the top side. It's the same kind of move. It's a nested move again. And you can see I have it labeled already. This one's a little bit different, but 1, 2, 3, 4. We're currently in the 5th wave. So again, I would probably think that this is going to end up being ABC, but it's impossible to tell. It looks like we're in a 5th wave. All it needs to do to be a 3rd wave, though, is break outside the parallel line. So if we get a move higher tomorrow, my original target was actually just right here at 376.50. But if that happens tomorrow, that breaks the parallel line. So at that point, it could be 3 or C. And the only thing is, it's not going to hit the 1.61 fib, which is sitting at 383. So with this about finished, I would lean towards it being a C wave. But if it breaks the parallel line and we get something like this, and it does 5 waves, and it actually could go up higher than that, because you look at the length of wave 1 and wave 3, I would actually be looking for something around like 392 if that happens. So you can see they'd all be similar lengths. Wave 3 would be about 18 bucks. This is about 18 bucks. So if this pulled back to 374 and went to 392, that would complete the overall, or no, it wouldn't. Wait, 392, hold on. Up here. If it did that, it would be kind of a weird 5-wave move. And so that's kind of why the reason I think ABC is more likely. But this is possible. It'd be a very shallow 4th wave. 5th wave would be about the same length as wave 1 and wave 3. So, impulsive move, corrective move, impulsive move is what we got right now. So that's either ABC or it's a 3rd wave. Depending on what it does tomorrow will kind of tell us what's going on. I'm leaning towards ABC, and I'm leaning towards it going down to new lows pretty much right away. But again, it's possible if we get this, and it's possible that we get this. So be aware tomorrow is kind of, next couple of days are going to be huge to tell us what's going to happen over the next couple of months. So like this is a pretty big week. And I think there's PCE data on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Thursday. So that's QQQ. Now SPY, same thing. I'm not going to go over the smaller waves in this. It's similar to QQQ, but this is already broken outside the parallel line. And that usually signals a 3rd wave, but again, it's not to the 1.61 fib yet. That's at 452. So I'm looking for this to go to 452 from where it's at, just based on where it's at already. So I think it's going to go to 452, potentially gap fill here at 455. It's the same setup as QQQ. And nobody can tell you which one's going to work out. Let's say we go here, pull back, get that, or the bullish is, of course, that. And then the last scenario is that. The interesting thing is the 1.61 fib of the bottom here stops right below or right above the invalidation level for this being a wave 4, which is 415. So those are 3 possibilities on SPY as well. It's already broken outside the parallel line. QQQ has not broken outside the parallel line. 1 second. So now let's go into Tesla. Tesla is similar to both of the other ones, the indexes. However, it's nowhere near the parallel line, and it really only retraced to a little bit past the 0.38 fib. So that's why it's most likely AB, but I can't say that it's not possible that this ends up going like this. But the thing is, let's look at the standard deviation. This is it could come up here to 318 and make a new high, and that'd be the fifth wave. But again, it's parallel line. It's not outside of there. And if you go down to smaller time frames, this one's like, it looks very corrected to me, and then you get this move right here. This kind of throws a wrench in the count, and then this looks like ABC to me as well. So it's a very tricky move, but we have a supply zone here of 260 to 266, and it's already hit my target. You can see on the 15-minute we're at the very top of the standard deviations. Not that that really matters that much, but overall I would think that this is probably ABC. Here's the main question for me though, is if this is ABC and it goes to, let's say tomorrow, 258, which is the 1.61 fib of A, the main question is, are we going to get this? I don't think that's very likely, just based on announcements coming up for Tesla. They had pretty good earnings, and that would almost seem too much for me. So I think that it's actually more likely on Tesla that we get something like this. And then gap fill. We have this gap at 290. We hit the supply zone, back off, go up here to this supply zone, gap fill, and then come down again. So again, this looks like ABC. I think the most likely scenario on Tesla is this. But we'll see tomorrow. Again, nothing is set in stone yet. That's why I said the next couple of days are going to tell you like what's going to happen over the next couple of months. So Tesla leaning towards ABC. I am in some short-term calls. I sold some covered calls on this, but I'm also in calls in case I'm wrong. My covered calls will allow me to still be profitable on my position, but also if I'm wrong, I'll make a bunch of money on the calls. So that's Tesla. Let's go over Amazon now. Amazon, I did some charting on lower time frames. So this is still AB. And then if we zoom in here on lower time frames, this looks like a nested move to me, 5-wave move. So we have 1, 2, 3, and I think we're working on a 4th wave. Because this is a B wave right here. So if that's the case, this would probably come up here to $136, which is basically already there. Could come up here to this supply zone right here, and then I would look for a 5th wave lower, and then that would complete the overall C wave. That's what I got right now. Either that or it's A, B, and we're going to get a bigger move down. But if this is a C wave, it's got to be 5 waves. So I think it's likely finishing up a 4th wave and a 5th wave down. I had originally said that this was the start of a 5-wave move higher, but this looks like a 5-wave move in itself. So I think it's rather probably a C wave, and then the 5th wave hasn't even started yet. So they might just like stall this out for a while. And this 5th wave could take a while. It could come all the way down here to 126. So Amazon, is kind of dead in my opinion in the short term. If it comes down to 126, then I would be looking for still up here to like 159, and this gap fill here at 163 before it's all said and done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Amazon's pretty dead short term in my opinion. Microsoft, this is one that they might use tomorrow to lift everything up in my opinion, just because the A wave or the B wave right here, this is actually a B wave now, most likely, ended here at 318. The bottom here is at 311. So you'd expect this to be about $7 higher than the top here, just based on which comes to like 340. But there's a gap fill here at 336. And just looking at this setup right here, you can see we have A right here, and it pulls back to 0.5 fib. Let's do the same thing we did on QQQ. I think this is an A wave. We got a B wave pullback right here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the B wave, I mean the fourth wave probably ended right here. This looks kind of like a B wave in itself. So this is likely wherever you want to put wave 1, doesn't matter. Wave 1, 2, obvious wave 3. Wave 3 could be right here too. And then wave 4 right here. Looks to me like Microsoft should get a pretty nice move tomorrow. Either that or it's finished right here, but I don't think it's finished because the 1.61 fib is at 330. That's kind of my target. That would not get it to the gap fill though. And so this would kind of play into what I was talking about, where this actually could be the A wave. And then this could be the B wave right here. And then we would get a C wave down here, potentially. Or let's see. I'm just making sure. Has this broken the parallel line is a question as well. It basically hit it. So tomorrow is Wednesday. You could see 330 and it could stay within this parallel line too. And that would end up being the overall B wave. And then from there, it's could do a few things. It could do that's probably less likely. I would look for probably a C wave down here and then a move higher after that. But again, this could squeeze to 336. It kind of remains to be seen. Two different indicators here. This one's shorter than this, but then this is only saying 330. So either way, it is in a supply zone. We got a supply zone ahead, gap fill at 336. I expect higher to at least 330 tomorrow. NVDA, probably the one that everyone's looking at, wondering what's going on. I think that NVIDIA kind of gives it away. I think this is a squeeze. I don't think it's a next move higher, and I think it's a B wave. I already showed you that I think this is an A wave right here, and then this right here, we get a move right here, which I think is, it could be the ending of the A wave, and we started a B wave right here. But I think my suspicion is that this is a B wave right here. Same thing as the rest of them. The only problem with this is there's no supply zone above. So I don't really have a basis of where this is going to end. But it looks like the same setup. 5 waves here. Potentially A, B, Let me zoom in here real quick. Yeah, I mean, this looks, that was 5 waves though. So it did probably end right here. So now I'm just checking this wave right here. This could end up being, it's probably a 5-wave move. My suspicion was a B wave, and then we'd fall down here to 435. Kind of remains to be seen on NVDA, but I would say overall it's more than likely that this is going to end up being a B wave. Even if it is a 5-wave move, let's say it ends up going, let's just say this is a 3rd wave right here, and this goes 4th wave, 5th wave higher, then if we didn't know then, if we don't know now, we're at least going to get this pullback here. And then that's going to allow you to really know what's going on. If we get a corrective pullback, then we know that this is the start of a move higher, which is very possible because if you zoom out here on higher time frames, this was 5 waves. This retraced all the way to the 0.5 fib. So this very well could be a 1st wave higher. So I'm going to put B or 1. And if it does go higher, let's say it comes up here to 500 again, you're probably going to get a pullback again shortly. And that would be a buy the dip if it's a corrective move. If it ends up being an impulsive move, I'm looking for the gap fill down here at 435. So we'll see what happens on the video tomorrow. And then Apple. Parallel line. And it basically hit the very top of it. So again, it has not hit the 1.61 fib yet. 187.52 is that. But it has hit the top of the parallel line. Is it going to break that parallel line tomorrow? If it goes up here to 187.52, then it could be a 3rd wave off the lows. But overall, this looks like a 5-wave move to me. So I think this is probably going to end up being a B wave. And then we would see either this again, same thing. This supply is up here at 190, there's a gap fill, or we're going to see and there's a gap fill at 166. So let's just think about this though. This is at 198, we're at 185, that's $13 less. I don't think that it's there yet. Think about $13 less, 198, 190, that's $8 less, equals 163. I'm starting to think, looking at all of these now, that we're going to probably get something like this. Because again, on all of these, it would be a very short B wave. If they're going to take all month to get it up here to, or like into mid-September, it makes more sense for the dimensions of this gap fill right here. Where's it at? This gap fill right here at 166. So if they drop it from here, then you'd be looking for it to go a lot farther. This is kind of what I'm talking about. So from here, I'd be looking for 159 minimum. But if they do this, then let's say they take it all the way to maybe even 195, maybe a double top, but probably 190. Then look at that. Perfectly hits the gap fill on a C wave down. So, yeah, I mean, all these scenarios are possible. I'm going to probably leave it at that. Pretty long video. I'll do some timestamps. But just looking at what I just looked at on all of these, I think that it is very likely that we do get something ABC-ish that takes a little bit longer, maybe into mid-September. And that just means that we're going to get this move probably most likely on a lot of these stocks. ABC, Amazon, I don't know about that. It's probably going to hang up here and then wait for the next correction. Pretty much dead, in my opinion. And then on QQQ, that would look like 376, pull back, probably come up here and gap fill at 380, and then we get the move down. So look for that structure probably as the most likely scenario. Now that I've gone through those, that's my gut feeling. All of them are valid. And yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think. I'll put timestamps in the description. Good luck with everything. Next couple days are going to determine what happens over the next couple of months, in my opinion.